Hola, friends.
Hello. Sorry, we're actually 15 minutes. Well, I said 8:30-ish. I threw that ish out there.
I asked her, did you say 8:30 or did you say maybe?
Yeah, because we're like always really prompt.
But we almost ran out of gas, and
we had like a whole night.
And we didn't have our wallet. And then I knew that the gas station accepted iPay, and so I get up to the counter and I'm like, "Do you guys do iPay?" They said, "Yeah," and I was like, "Sweet, I need 30 on pump 11."
Hey,
they said, "Awesome," and then my phone had 1% and it almost died.
Oh my god!
So then I had to run out to the car with the leftover gas that I had and plug in my phone for some extra juice.
Yeah.
And then I got it to 2% and ran back in and paid. So that's what we've been doing.
We like literally, because we went to Erran got home from work, we went straight to the gym, flew into the gas station on fumes, no money, no wallet, Apple Pay, phone's dead. I don't have it on my phone. So we're like trying to get juice. Erran finally gets it. And then we literally just ran home. I'm having my dinner with you guys, a green smoothie, which is, pretty appetizing, actually.
Yep, anyway.
And here we are. We'll give like a few minutes for people to kind of come on. I know Facebook lags a little bit, but welcome, you guys. Hello. So we're going to keep this super like short and sweet, as we literally always say that. No, but we really are. So we're going to share our top 3 tips for, this is geared towards newer travelers getting started. And we're just gonna, there's so many things that we could like talk about, but we chose 3 that we thought were like the best.
Well, and I think we've kind of grown on those 3 too, in a way. Like,
yeah, they're always, but these I feel like are the foundation.
Yeah, that was very mouthy.
Okay, I have green tea.
Ugh.
I have green tea. Okay, we're Hot Mess Express over here.
Sucking down swamp water.
All right. So I guess we'll just dive in.
Yeah.
Do you want to just get
into
and
plus,
it?
you know, there's a lot of new people in this group.
Yeah.
We had a plethora of people join.
So many people.
Big time.
So welcome to all the new people to the group.
Welcome. This is kind of what Kim and I like to do, is get on here, do some videos for you guys, help you guys out. But it's interactive. So please ask away, ask questions. But we do have a spiel for you guys.
So I wanted to say too, for like all the new people that are joining, and even the people who are in here that like don't know, all the videos that we do, all the trainings, all the things are always in the Facebook group. And you can find them if you go to the video section of the Facebook group. When you open that up, every single training we've ever done inside the group, you can get in there, you can binge watch all of the videos. There's lots of good ones. So definitely check that out. And if you're new to us, on our website, which is kimanderrang.com.
ERRAN.
I'll put the link. We have like resources and some like a 3-part training about money and things like that. So definitely check that out.
Yep. All right.
Let's get into it. Who's a newbie traveler anxious about finding housing? Yeah, I know it's definitely it's a big one. There's
a really good video in our video section of this group that Kim and I did in March.
Go check that out.
That was our 3 top tips for finding housing. And Ron, I don't know if you know, but Kim is a master at finding housing.
I've gotten really good at it over the years.
We have always found our own housing. We've only in 7 years taken one time. We did corporate, and that was on our 2nd ever assignment. And so, she's gotten really good at it. And so she does a really good video. It was like an hour and a half long.
It was kind of long, but we gave a lot of good tips. We have a whole module on it in Traveler School. We're actually this week, tomorrow or Wednesday, we're doing like the whole Q&A for Traveler School. So it's a whole module because there's lots of things to think about. It does take could take more time and energy, but like once you get into the flow and you get a system going, like you're always most of the time going to save more money and it's worth it, but it's a thing.
Yeah.
Still considering myself a newbie. You're killing it.
Yeah, but you're next level newbie.
All right. So here we go. Okay. So these are our 3 tips to really start thinking about as a traveler, like, because there's a lot of things that you're going to do, right? When you're like, wow, I want to start travel, like Ron, you're soon to start traveling. Like there's things that you want to start thinking about to start the process so that it's easy to kind of transition from full-time to travel. So these are kind of the 3 things to really start thinking about first.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that was good. I thought you were like, go.
Do you want to start with number 1?
Unless you want to start with number 3.
No, we're ending with number 3. Number 3 is our favorite.
Well, of course I would start with number 1, Ben.
Okay, you're fresh. You're
Anyway.
fresh tonight. Okay, number 1.
El numero uno.
And if you guys have any questions while you're watching it, ask, and we'll get to the cues at the end, okay? We're going to run through this.
Okay.
What?
I already said that.
You're so annoying
You're
tonight.
repeating me.
Okay,
Okay,
number 1. This one is basic, capital B.
Not really.
Learn the industry.
Yeah. So that's where
Learn this industry, people.
So that's what, a lot of us get into traveling, and we think that all we have to know is our current jobs and what we do, our current specialties. And it took us about 3 years into traveling to realize that traveling itself, there's a lot to learn and there's a lot to know. And if you want to advance and have like a smooth ride as you're traveling and just enjoy the adventure, then knowing the industry is the best way to do it.
Well,
good.
The travel industry is so different than being a full-time worker, right? And so really taking the time to learn the ins and outs, learn the depths of this industry, super important, right? Understanding how we get paid. What is the bill rate? What does that mean? How much are companies taking, right? Like, how do you negotiate? Why do you negotiate? What does that even mean? Like, the taxes, right? These are the things that you really do want to have a good grasp on.
My tax home set up properly.
And you want to understand it. And there's so much information out there. There's so much good information out there, but there's also just like not so great in bits and pieces of things. So you don't really want to just get into Facebook forums and read people's comments about whatever and like get these little pieces of information and just think like, oh, this is all I need to know. This is the truth. It's like taking the time to learn the whole big picture and what that really means.
Right. And to be honest with you, when people get into traveling, we did this, a lot of people still do this, unfortunately, is they just believe that their recruiter is going to tell them everything that they need to know. And unfortunately, that's not always the case. There are recruiters now that are very educated to the how the travel industry works, and they're able to share with you how to properly set up your tax home. And they're going to make sure that all of your stuff is in order for you. And they're going to tell you things before you even have to ask, because they're doing really well as a recruiter, and they're helping.
Yeah, no. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead. Just finish what you're saying. I'll say what I want.
But then, on the flip side of that, I still hear it, in my assignments. Like, oh no, my recruiter told me that, I only have to be outside of 50 miles and blah, blah, blah. And like, the infamous 50-mile rule and all these things. And it's like, there's a lot of false information being passed out there. So there's a lot to learn, and there's a lot of resources out there for you guys now, which is amazing, to learn and grow. And good.
Yeah, no, I think Laura from Nomadic Hair said something. She did a live yesterday in her group, and I thought it was really interesting. And she said, in something like this, but it was basically like, if you're trying to understand tax homes and you see somebody and they post in a comment or in a Facebook group and they say, yep, you got to duplicate expenses to have a proper tax home, right? That is true. That is very true. But that's just one part of it.
That's a snippet of
right? That's just one part of it. There's 2 other things that you have to do. So if you just see that and you're like, oh, cool, all I have to do is duplicate expenses. Awesome. Like, I know what to do. And then you start telling other people that, right? So it's kind of like you see one thing and you think, oh, wow, I understand this. Or you see like about negotiating and you should be getting this and you should be getting that. And then you go back to your recruiter and you're saying, I want to get this, but you don't know the whole story. You don't know the whole picture. And I think that's the point, is like really understand the depths of all of this, and not just the surface superficial stuff, but taking the time to learn so that you feel more confident and you know the right questions to ask, and you really truly understand the industry, because then that's just going to set you up for success.
Right.
We didn't do that. And so anyways, I thought that was a good point that she brought up.
No, I love that.
It's just you're getting a little piece of it, but that little piece isn't the whole story. And you don't want to run with that because that will set you up for making bad mistakes.
Well, and I mean, there's just like, so all you have to do is contribute $250 back to your, tax home. It's like those are things that get thrown around out there in the industry, and that's not right.
Yeah.
And so you hear that and you're like, oh, it came from a Facebook forum or it came from a recruiter. It's got to be true.
Right.
That's what I'm going to do. And so
that's what our recruiter told us.
Right. And so that's the thing. And so there's a lot of groups out there, which is really cool. We have the one you're in right now. We do a lot of trainings. We have Laura from Nomadic here. She has an amazing group.
Julia's a great resource.
The
Travel
Traveler.
Tax.
Joseph Smith has everything you need for taxes.
Yeah.
And then if you really want to dive deep, there's Traveler School. We launch that 3 to 4 times a year.
Which is opening next in February.
Wow, it's coming up.
And that basically, Traveler School is our online program that's like a start to finish, step by step, module by module, everything that there is to know about traveling. And we dive deep into all of the things in one place. So that's a great resource.
Yeah.
So really learning it from...
Is there any others that we...
Well, Alex from Fit Travel Life, who we love, but she doesn't do so much of like trainings and stuff. It's more like fit, healthy lifestyle. Dylan, yeah, he's got a great podcast.
But they're giving out great information and reliable and helpful and truthful information.
Yeah, and there's tons of them. We're just kind of like winging it off the top of our head. But like, I think too, what I want to say is that you're going to get out there and you're going to learn things as you go. We learn something new like all the time. And you're going to get out there and you're going to make mistakes. Not everything's going to be perfect. Not everything is going to be the way that you thought it was going to be, right? But knowing that you're going to learn as you go, like being as prepared as you can before you go, or if you're newer to traveling, like starting from, what am I trying to say? Like getting off on the right foot from the beginning is awesome, but you're still going to make mistakes, and that's okay. You can learn from them and grow and be better and say, next time it's going to be better, right?
Absolutely.
Your traveling is it's an interesting way of living, and
you always say it's not an external adventure, it's an internal adventure as well.
It totally is. You're gonna like grow and mold, and like things are gonna happen, and like crazy things are gonna happen, and you're gonna learn from them.
I think too, hitting on that learning part, and this is something that I've been thinking about as well. It's really good to understand the industry, right? Like understand what's going on, understand how you get paid, understand how to do your taxes properly, how to set up your tax home, understand the bill rates, understand how you're getting paid with the hospitals, like all those things, like really understand that, how to negotiate, what to negotiate, how the things are working. But then you got to understand that like you're never going to learn it all, right? You might learn it all, but you're going to be growing as you go. And so leaving that room to like explore and figure out things, right? Not wanting to just, I have to know it all or else I can't go. Or I have to like just keep asking questions until like my brain goes crazy. Like there's going to be things that you're going to approach because every traveler is different. And that's one reason why we have Mimi LaRue as our mascot, but also the paper airplane. It's because every paper airplane flies a unique path every time, right? It's made differently, it flies differently. And then that's kind of us as travelers. We follow that unique path. And so everybody's going to have to learn as they go. And so allowing that to happen, you're not going to know everything. You're going to learn some things along the way.
Well, that's a good point. And I'm glad that you brought that up because, we're big about like learning the industry and educating yourself and empowering yourself so that you can have the confidence as to, to show up and be a good traveler. But don't like overthink it too much. Like there's things to learn and there's resources out there that will help you and guide you. But yeah, don't be like, I'm not ready. I didn't know this one thing. It's like, you're going to learn as you go, but definitely learn as much as you possibly can.
Just leading into.
Well, even I was going to say too, one of the examples, when we found out that we had been traveling for years and we both work in radiology, and a part of what we do is we take a lot of call. And so when we found out years into traveling that we should be getting more money than just time and a half for taking call, and why that was fair, and having that broken down of like, wow, like we've missed out on like thousands of dollars, and how upsetting that was to us. Like, holy crap, we've been gypped. Like, you initially, because as you're learning things, you're like, oh my God, I've been doing it wrong for so long. And we have that initial thought, but you have to be like, okay, cool. There's nothing we can do about the past, but we've learned. And now moving forward, we know what to ask, and we know why it's important. We know why it's fair, and we won't make that same mistake again. So you have to look at it from that lens too, is like, as you're learning, not getting frustrated that you didn't know it.
From this point on, right.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, I'm so upset. And you just got to move on and grow from it. So, all right, number 2.
Just run. We do not do our own taxes. We have somebody do it for us. We've been having somebody do it for about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. And traveltax.com is a great resource.
But you got to get in early. Get in early with him because he does book up pretty quickly.
He's like the travel tax master.
Yeah, he's in this group. So
yeah.
Definitely, you just got to, I would say, get the ball rolling with him. He might actually already even be booked up, but I don't want to.
Just check into it. Does anybody have any questions so far?
Ron said, how do I sign up for your traveler school?
So you can get on the wait list right now. The next class opens in February
25th.
And the reason why we do that, Erran and I are actually kind of going back and forth because we have so many people that like will email us and like want to get in, but then it's closed. But the reason why we do that is, but they're like, but we want to do it right now. But because Traveler School, once you sign up, you get all 7 modules. It's all done.
8 modules. And
all the bonuses, so 8. You get everything, and you can just dive in and like binge watch it, or you can take your time, whatever. It's all there, and you have lifetime access. But why we decided to do it this way is because we do live Q&As and recaps week by week, module by module inside the other Facebook group. And like I said, tomorrow we're doing the housing module. So we're trying to decide how we're going to do that.
We were talking about it. But the students in Traveler School, the one thing, we always get feedback from them and ask them what's working, what's not working, how can we improve, what would you like? And the one thing they all agree with is they love the Facebook Lives in the private Traveler School student Facebook group. So
anyway, but
tangent.
Go. I'll put the link and you can check it out for sure. It's a amazing program. And it literally, you go through it and you are a rock star traveler.
Yeah.
We have a couple Traveler School students on here right now.
There's a lot of them actually.
They will tell you how awesome it is.
Maybe.
It is.
No, maybe they'll tell. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Not like you better tell them how awesome it is, or else I'm going to silence y'all as bastards from this thing.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Number 2 is, wait, where is it? Oh, I wrote notes. Finding a good recruiter from the beginning.
Okay, good. I just had a question. So how do you do that if you haven't learned the industry? And
that exactly. So it goes back to learning the industry, right? Because when you are familiar with things and you're familiar with what you want and what's important, you understand how things work, right? Then it's going to be way easier to know the right questions to ask when you're looking into working with a recruiter, right? And when you can, from the beginning, find 2 or 3 recruiters that you really like and have answered your questions in a way that makes you feel good and feels like you're going to be a good fit, it makes everything easier from the beginning. Then you don't always have to play the back and forth game and the constant, oh my God, is he giving me enough money? Like, it's exhausting. So finding the right core recruiters from the beginning is super important, which we'll talk about a little bit. Nomadicare is a great resource.
That's what I was going to say.
She does all the hard work for you.
For newbie travelers, that's why we always just say, if you have Nomadicare, you're locked in with recruiters that are doing the things that we teach in Traveler School. Exactly. And so and then she's holding them accountable, which is awesome for a new traveler to just be like, I don't really understand. Are they going to do it? Are they doing this? Are they doing that? She's holding them accountable. They have to hold to these standards. And so it's very good to have when you first start out. I mean, I think it's good to have all the time. Don't get me wrong, but it's exceptionally from the beginning.
If we would have had that opportunity from the beginning, it would have made our lives way easier.
Way easier.
But even if you use Nomadic or not, it doesn't matter. Like, you should still take the time to learn the right questions to ask on your own, independently, so that you understand it and you're empowered, right?
I agree.
And so some things you want to think about, because again, like, you hear all of these different things of like, you know, you should be getting this for taking call, and you should be getting more for extensions, and you should be getting this, and you like all of these things. But like, companies do things very differently, and not all companies are treated or created equal. Right. And so it's up to you as a traveler to figure out, what do you want? What's important to you in a company, in a recruiter, right? And know the right questions to ask, so that when you're going through and asking them, there you can either say like, this works or this doesn't for me, and you can move on, right? And so it's important to understand that. So some things that you really do want to think about when you're looking into a company. Yeah.
So
run through?
Well, number one is like benefits for a lot of people. Do they start day one, or do they start day 30? Like,
and do they have good benefits, or do they have shitty good benefits? Right. Is that important to you?
Shitty good benefits.
Shitty good benefits. That's really, I kind of like it's so good it's shitty good. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn that into something.
Shitty good.
It's so good it's shitty good, right?
Okay.
All right.
Pass.
Okay, all right. But like, Erran and I don't give a flying F about like insurance. So like, for us, that's not important. That's never going to be something I'm going to be like, you don't have good benefits, like, or day one. Like, I don't care.
We always get the preventative plan, so it covers us for like.
That's us personally. Yeah. Okay. So do they have 401ks? Right? Do they offer that? Some do. Some offer matching. Some don't. Like, is that something that's important to you? Right? Direct contracts. This is super important. This, like, the companies that you're working or that you want to work with, like, how many direct contracts do they have? Where is the locations that they have these direct contracts? Because that might be important of where you want to go, right? So
I believe, in my opinion, asking that question to your company, I always believe that's just like having a parachute in a plane. I mean, it's like, just because companies don't have direct access, direct contracts, doesn't mean you're not going to get contracts or whatever. It's going to be tough. No, but it's to the point of, it's just really nice to know that the companies, maybe you have one that has a bunch of direct contracts, and then you have one that's a little smaller that you enjoy working with, that can get out there and like see a whole bunch of things. It's just nice to know. Yeah,
for sure. Understanding how they pay. So you asking them, like, how, if you take a lot of call, like Erran and I, to us, that is a non-negotiable. That is important to us. So if I'm talking with a recruiter and they pay time and a half off my hourly for taking call, I'm not going to work with you, because to me, that's a non-negotiable, because we take so much call and we understand why it's fair to get this higher rate. And so I'm not going to, for me, I'm not going to work with that person. So understanding, how do they pay? If you take an extension, do they pay you more if you had a travel reimbursement, right?
Do they lump it back in?
Those are questions to ask. How do they break up pay? When they're presenting you with a pay package, how do they do that? Do they break it down hourly, housing, per diems, travel reimbursement? Like, do they do that? That's super important.
Well, also asking them questions, and how do they respond? You guys are smart people. I mean, you can tell when somebody's like, yeah, so how we do this is, if they're just like, you basically, what's like a random question that we've always asked? Like, what's a random question you've asked our recruiter that?
I ask them a lot of weird questions.
You do, but like,
I think you just feel out their energy, like you feel them out.
Like, for instance, how do you guys pay for the what do they call it? The pre things?
What you're talking about?
Like the TB tests and the.
Oh, like the onboarding stuff.
The onboarding. How do you guys pay for the onboarding? Does that come out of my bill rate? Or does it come out of, does the company have a side thing that they do? How does that work? Blah, 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 blah. And if they're answering you straight up, that's all you can really do, is just trust and feel if they're telling you the truth or not.
Yeah, obviously you're not going to know like the full truth unless you're there.
They could be pulling that out of your bill rate.
Let's move on. So, what else? Oh, do they give you pay packages before they submit you? Which is super important, right? Because you want to make sure that you're looking at that pay package and that it feels good to you and it's a good fit before they submit you for an interview, right?
Are they going
Those are questions, like that's something that might be super important to you, right? Do they get back to you quickly? right? Can you text them? Can you, like, what's the communication like? So again, there's a lots of questions to think about, but these are just some of like really kind of understanding what's important to you and knowing what you want to ask the recruiters, because based off their answers, you're going to know if it's going to be a good fit for you or not. Right. And like Erran said, the energy, just like if you're asking them questions and they're like, nah,
like beating around the bush. You guys know what that feels like.
Or maybe they're just not friendly, or maybe you're just not clicking for whatever reason. Like, you're going to feel all of it out. Mm-hmm. But definitely knowing what to ask. And then did you want to say this last part that I think is important? That not all companies are going to have the same things.
No, go ahead.
Understanding too, like there's things that are like non-negotiable, right? So for us, like a non-negotiable is if the company doesn't pay us hourly wage for overtime or on call and overtime, that's non-negotiable, right? So if I'm talking with a recruiter and they don't do this and I say, nope, I'm not going to work with you, then I'm going to be saying no to a company that might have really good insurance, that maybe that's important, or maybe they have tons of direct contracts where I want to work, or
you gotta weigh it out.
Right. And so knowing that if something like, or you want to work with a company that has like really, they have day one insurance and that sounds great, but maybe they don't have like, maybe they don't give you the pay the way that you want, so it's like, you got to really weigh it out.
Also remembering that recruiters are little entrepreneurs at their desk as well. They have a lot of autonomy to kind of do what they want to do. And so one recruiter is going to be different than this recruiter and this recruiter. It's kind of like wine, right?
Yeah.
You could plant grapes in one place and plant grapes across the street and get totally different wine. Same thing, same vineyard.
Yeah.
Different taste of wine.
That's a good analogy. It's about the terroir. Or what is it called?
You're the one that read the wine Bible.
I did. I went through, we were living in wine country, and I became obsessed with learning about wine.
She read the 700-page wine Bible.
I did. I was obsessed. It was fun, and then we'd go and try different wines. But how do you say it? Terroir. Terrior. It's like what makes the difference in the wine.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's interesting. Okay, number 3. This is our favorite, obviously. Okay.
What was number 2?
Do you guys have any questions? Hold on, let's check in.
We got that. Oh, wait, no, we didn't. Oh, we missed that.
I know, because we're just like going. I haven't even had my dinner.
Did you do your taxes for the beginning of the travel journey? Yes. Mm-hmm. If so, how did that go?
Super simple. Why don't you tell them? Because you used to do our taxes because they just give you a W-2 for every state that you worked in.
Yeah, but I don't suggest it.
Okay. I never did it, so I have no idea. He always did them. But
so I did it the first year. And
don't do it, yeah.
Don't do it. If you just worked in one state, TurboTax walks you through it. I don't suggest it. For me personally, because I'd rather have a professional that knows what they're doing and understands our industry do it.
True that.
So just because of the different states and the blah, blah, blah. So I tried to do it one year. I got like 3/4 of the way done. We had California, Georgia, Illinois, somewhere else, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
W-2s. And I was just like, oh, hell's to the no. But I tried it, right? And it just got really confusing and blah, blah, blah. And so I just backed out of it all, and I went in and got it. And we actually found...
Yeah. It's definitely worth it to find somebody. Yeah. And sorry. Oh, don't be sorry for the questions. We love questions.
Keep them coming.
And again, traveltax.com is a great resource for that too. They specialize 100%. In travelers' taxes. So definitely look into that.
And if you can't, I just want to say, if you can't get in, because Joseph Smith is very busy with a lot of travelers. So if you can't get in, there are other people out there that specialize in like, what are they called? Truckers and like,
like mobile employees. Yeah, which is that's a good point, because they are used to working with people who work in a bunch of different states. So that's the difference. And just to, last thing about that is the most, finding someone to do your taxes important, but the most important thing about taxes too is getting making sure your tax home is set up correctly and really understanding that, because that's how you get to receive the tax-free money. So taking the time to really understand
that. And you guys can understand too, to make an educated decision that if you don't feel like setting up a tax home is the right thing for you, you can still travel.
Yep.
Just everything is taxed.
Yeah.
And so you have to understand that as well, like how that works and what that looks like. And
exactly.
That it's still not a bad thing. It's not like, oh my God, this sucks.
I want to find somebody, maybe somebody on here in our group.
Laura was just talking about it in her group.
I want to interview somebody who is an itinerant and like ask them.
Yes, please.
All the questions. Okay, Brooke says the lives are a game changer when going through traveler school. Aw, thank you.
Max,
everybody says that. That's awesome.
Love the live chat. I bet you do, you filthy animal.
We get like really close with our traveler school students. We can call them filthy animals.
Well, that's Mitch's nickname.
Just Mitch.
Yeah.
What's up with Florida? HCA seems to dominate. What is that?
Is that home care associates?
Oh.
We're in radiology, so I don't really understand that part.
Yeah, what does HCA mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So school me.
We're currently in Florida. And
first ever contract in Florida.
Florida's our home state, and this is the first time we've ever worked as travelers in Florida, because for us in radiology, there's really not a whole lot of job options. For nurses, there seems to be, maybe therapists too. But this is the first time we've ever worked here. So it's nice. It's nice to be close.
Ron, so what do you do for health insurance? We get the insurance when we start our contracts.
Yep. So here's the thing, Ron, too. Your company will offer you health insurance, and you take that if you want to, and it will cover you while you're working. And if you just work back-to-back contracts, it will cover you. Again, this is going to be different based on the company. Most of them will cover you for a certain amount of time before you start your next contract, right? If you're not signing another contract, you're not covered anymore. So you can get your own personal plan. You can get insurance through your company. There's definitely options. It's a loaded topic. So many people want to know about that.
We're gonna bring what's her name in.
Yeah, we will at some point. There's also, we have a whole, so Laura actually did a whole YouTube video about this on her YouTube channel. It's also inside of Traveler School too. So that's definitely something to check out.
Ron said there are hundreds of travel companies. Are there any that you recommend? To be honest with you, we recommend Nomadicare. But that pretty much is all we recommend. And the reason being is because, again, every recruiter is very autonomous in how they do things. So I could recommend a company, and our recruiter from that company is doing amazing things, and they're doing things the right way. And then you get matched up with somebody and they're not doing the right thing. Or our recruiter is great for us, but he might not be great for you. Else. Like he doesn't vibe with you. And so I don't like doing that personally, because it's just so different, and you would have a different experience possibly than we would, but that's why we don't recommend. And
I think, like Erran said, like a company, it's not necessarily about the company, it's about the recruiters, but like what we kind of just talked about, it's really understanding this industry and knowing what's important to you in a company and a recruiter, and knowing the right questions to ask, so that when you're going through and talking to some recruiters, that you are going to get a feel if they're a good fit for you or not, and knowing what's important to you based on what you do. Are you a therapist? Yeah, and
I want to say too, while we're waiting to hear what you do, that there's a really good company out there that a lot of people love. I personally don't like them. I want to work with one recruiter, right? I want to work with one person that knows me, that every contract I know I'm going through this person. That is very important to me, where it's not that important to a lot of people. I don't want to have to get on the phone every single contract and be like, well, last contract, like I like this, and this is important to me, and this is this, and this is that. And I feel like I don't want to have to run through that. So that's very important to me. I would rather work with another company, because there are so many out there. And so that just shows you, like, that's a specific for me. And it's not anything against that company.
Yeah. It's
just I don't prefer to work with them, but they're a great company.
Yeah, and lots of people like refer their recruiters. We refer our recruiter for people who work in radiology. Our two recruiters, one of them we got through Nomadicare, which again is a great site, because she's already vetted recruiters, and and it's free. It's free to travelers, so definitely check that out. But yeah, it's definitely being mindful too of just like when Sally's like, work with my recruiter, they're great, I'm going to PM you their information, and it's like, Sally might not know anything about actually what makes a good recruiter, and maybe that is a good recruiter for her, but like it wouldn't be for you, and she may not know like pay in our industry, or like what's fair, things like that. And so it's like being really mindful, and that's why it's on us as the travelers to learn and empower and educate ourselves so that we know the right questions to ask, so that when you talk to Sally's recruiter and you're asking them about pay and this and that, and they're like not like answering, they're just like not on their game, then it's not a good fit for you.
Well, like,
and that lies on you as the traveler.
We started this group August of 2017, and we didn't start recommending our recruiter that we've worked with for like 4 or 5 years until like recently.
Yeah.
Because he finally agreed.
What's an RNFA?
I know what that is.
What?
It's RN First Assistant. So
what does that mean?
They are RNs, and then they become First Assistants, and they basically are almost
cool.
like, I'm trying to put it in terms you would understand, like a PA in the OR, like nurse practitioner in the OR, like very OR trained.
Okay.
To help with surgery.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. Interesting. I've never heard about that before.
Yeah.
You're so smart.
So that's a very big specialty. So finding a company that really specializes in.
I wouldn't do like all nursing companies. Do they work?
Well, Ron was posting in one of our last trainings, and I remember you on here saying that even though you're an RNFA, sorry.
Are you thinking of LNFMO?
No.
No, you're sick.
But no. What? You're sick. Anyway, but he was saying that even though he's an RNFA, they still put him in for floor nurse positions in the OR.
Oh, yeah.
And so that'd be a big thing for me as a recruiter. Do you understand what an RNFA is?
Yeah.
And if not, do some research.
Right. Okay, number 3.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, man. We got to wrap this up because I'm hungry.
We're going to be quick.
Okay, number 3. Our favorite. The most important one to us.
Do not let the adventure of traveling pass you by.
Have fun.
Enjoy yourself.
Have fun, people.
We live in 3-month increments, maybe 6, maybe longer, but we like to say it's basically in 3-month increments, right? And that 3 months can go by so fast when you're just sitting there and you're just wondering, what's next? What's next? What do I have to do? Where do I have to go? What is going to happen? I don't even know. But, whoa, it was like a wrap, dude.
I was like kind of like in a trance with that.
Anyway, but that was, anyway.
Okay.
Enjoy the adventure, people.
Yeah.
Like really enjoy the adventure, because it is a blessing to
Yeah.
get to do what we do and see the things we get to see and live the places we get to live.
No, it is. And I think sometimes we can get so wrapped up in other things, which things are going to come
Other things?
Listen, I haven't even had my dinner yet, and I can't drink my smoothie because then my teeth get all green.
Yeah, which her teeth green?
I have So anyways, I'm running on fumes here, just like the Jeep tonight.
Yeah. All right, keep going.
Okay. So my point is that things are always going to be thrown at us as travelers. Things are going to come up, and we're figuring things out. We're living life in motion, right? Like we're going to be thinking about that next contract. We're going to be thinking about interviews. We're going to be thinking about finding housing. Yes, there's things that come up. It's a very different lifestyle. We're constantly moving and changing and making decisions all the time, figuring out what's right for me, what's next, what should I do? I have all these options. Or like, is my recruiter paying me enough? Oh, I don't know. Like,
then going into the work the first day.
And then starting your first day. Like there's so many moving parts.
Yeah.
And that's all true, right? But it's also about like remembering to have fun, remembering to enjoy yourself, to have this adventure, to take it slow, to take wherever you are, take that in, experience, like do as much as you can where you are. And we have this unique opportunity to live in all different parts of our country that we would probably never like just go to. And we get to dive in and like just have cool adventures. So don't let the stress and the overwhelm become manic in your mind that it holds you back from having fun.
Right.
And I think it's easier to have fun and be relaxed when You also know the industry. You trust your recruiters. So when you say, give me the highest pay package you can based off this bill rate, you've already set the foundation for they already pay this way and this and that. That they hand you a pay package and you say, awesome, right? Like it's simple. It's not always pulling teeth every single freaking contract. It becomes a lot more fun that way.
It does, and it moves a lot quicker too.
Yeah.
Because then you get to the point where I know that my recruiter is going to give me the best that he can, and he knows this. We built this relationship, and what's cool is he's like, hey, I got a really good job for you. I'm like, submit me, rock it. Like he's gonna be like, this is a great pay package. Yeah. It'll fit what you like. Blah blah blah. Submit me. He'll even say, hey, this one's a little lower, but it's exactly where you want. Like, are you good with it? And I know that he's gonna do his best and give me the best, and it just pow. It's like, go do it. Like,
but we already have like practices in place where he always pays us more for OT and on call and the more for extensions. Like we don't have to talk about that every time. It's like that's already boop in our thing. And then this is the most money you can give us for the bill rate. Okay, perfect, done. But that comes over time. Like we said,
comes from learning.
You find your posse, right? Yep, you learn. Because again, Erran and I were working with a recruiter way back when we were just cold calling people and working with whoever, and we were working with them and we didn't know we should be getting paid for certain things and blah, 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 all of the things. And we learned, and then we knew the right questions to ask, and then we understood things better, and then we were able to do it differently the next time around, right? But it begins with you empowering yourself and knowing this industry so that you can be an advocate for yourself and say yes to the people that are doing the right thing and no to the people that aren't. And it's plain and simple, and not trying to like change a company like, well, you should be doing this and you should be doing this, and like it's just like, if that's not what they do, great. If that's not a good fit for you, great. But like you can say no to that and move on and find somebody that is.
Right.
That's my point.
I love it.
Is there any questions?
Yeah.
All right, go through. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have green teeth and I don't care.
They said to go to, wait, thank y'all for, I love this. Hold on. Ron, you two are awesome. Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Ron.
Wow, it's great. I need to listen to that advice.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Rapper E, damn right.
Hey, Angela. I didn't know you were on here.
Oh, I thought you said, hey, Angela,
hey,
earlier.
Girl, hey. I don't, maybe.
Anyway.
I'm running on fumes.
You've said that 3 times. You say it again, you're getting thumped.
Thumped?
They said go to Alabama. Who said go to Alabama?
Alabama.
Greenbow, Alabama. Who said go to Alabama?
Thank y'all for sharing all this info.
It doesn't get cold in Alabama. It was 26 degrees this morning. I'll go hiking when it warms up. Till then, I'll be a foodie.
That sounds like a good plan. Yeah. When we lived in Wisconsin in the winter, we were foodies and beer drinkers. Yeah. That was about it. And we worked out a lot.
Yeah, I can't wait to get a good relationship like that with a recruiter. Awesome.
Oh, I thought you were saying like us.
Okay, drink your smoothie. This will be timeout for Boop. Where are you, Matt? You guys are you guys are talking to each other.
You guys are talking to each other.
Awesome weather, Vermont. Wow. Yeah, well, it's cold as fuck in Florida. It's like 49 degrees right now.
It's so cold, you guys. We're like freezing our little tushies off over here. For us Florida folk, this is cold.
10 degrees in North Dakota. Woof.
Fuck that. We almost went there.
Well, yeah, that's Karina.
Oh, yeah. Oh. How are you liking it?
See that?
My eyes, you guys.
Okay, you're running on fumes. Your eyes don't work. You have green teeth.
You know. I had to get a physical, and my eyes, I'm like legally blind. So it's like really hard for me to see and apparently put together a sentence at this point. All right.
Well, I would love to have a good.
Thank you. We have our moments.
Oh, we do.
We definitely have our moments, that's for sure. Please stop it. You guys are freaking cold here. I don't feel my Oh my God. Yeah, I know. We're like Florida, like babies now. Anything under like 60.
I think it's because
it's the humidity.
No. You have.
It's the humidity. It makes it feel cold.
It is a wet cold. Yeah. But you do have in your head that Florida shouldn't be like this.
Yeah. Because like the other day, it was 85. Today, it's like 50. So you're used to it being like we went to Blue Springs and saw the manatees on Saturday and it was like 70,
80.
yeah, like 75, beautiful, sunny. And like today you wake up and it's 50, like unacceptable, Florida.
Yeah.
I was already in like a rhythm. Somebody calling on the portal?
No. Hang up, Alexa.
P.S. All travelers should get a portal. Erran got me one for Christmas and it's the coolest thing. Have you got?
I don't know.
Shut up, Alexa. Is it Mother Sky?
No.
I don't know if you guys know what the portal is, but
It's a Facebook. It's from Facebook.
and you can like it like follows you around, and you can like call all of your family and friends on it, and like share them with them your adventure.
Yeah. So I bought one for her mom, and her sister.
Yeah, it was really sweet. Really, really sweet. You guys, we should What does that mean? What's that for,
I don't know. I'm
babe?
running on fumes.
Okay.
You know
That's
it's cold
why
when you walk outside and the snot in your nose it's like freezes.
Oh my God. I would say so. I don't even know what that feels like anymore. My first contract I ever took was in Wisconsin in the middle of winter. And we
Yeah, but
came
you
from
parked
Florida.
underground.
Yeah, but man,
I'm
when
the
I used to come out of the hospital, I had to park in a normal parking lot, and I would have to come out and dig myself out of the snow with like a toothpick. True story.
Well, it was.
It was a fucking toothpick, and then it would take me like an hour to get home. I lived like a mile up the street, and I would just like fishtail like all the way home.
I was like, do we
We
really
were hot
need,
messes.
we don't need to invest in a window scraper. So we went and got one of those spackle things. You know what I'm
That's
talking
what it
about? Like spackle for the wall.
It's just a joke, dude.
Yeah.
And then Erran had to get towed by the plow guy because his truck like wouldn't make it up the driveway.
Well, I was trying to
True stories, people.
to dig my truck out with the spackle thing.
It was burning rubber. These are the experiences you get to have as a traveler.
Can't
I
find that
mean,
information in a group.
no.
I would have loved to have posted in this group, and then the people in Wisconsin were like, oh man, you should just throw kitty
Yeah.
litter in the back of your truck.
Like a month later.
Thanks for telling me now, dude. Like
I
I was
know.
stuck out there for hours.
It was a cool experience,
It was.
though. We can check that box.
Yep.
Wait,
You need cat litter, laugh at.
See, we didn't get the memo because we're from Florida, so we didn't know.
They literally laughed because I had a Florida license plate and it was a truck. It was a Nissan Frontier, so it was like, damn, like you think I could get up there, but it was rear
Your sister truck.
wheel drive,
Good.
stick shift.
Well, when I came home from work and Erran was getting plowed and like waving, like, like from the window,
Yeah,
and the
just-
plow guy was like driving him home. Like, oh my God, classic, you guys.
He was dragging me.
Good old freaking
For traction.
Wisconsin.
Yeah. Next time, let me know. Give you all the tips. Yeah.
All right.
Well, now we have this amazing group
Now we can get all the tips.
to talk to. We didn't
all the
have that
things.
in
Do we miss
contract
anything?
number 2.
Angela said it's 50 in WeHo. Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
And she's
That's
freezing.
cold.
She's freezing,
See,
see?
because you're in
The
freaking
wet-
California.
Wet cold.
California is dry, baby. But
Oh, yeah.
WeHo is usually like warm.
When?
We love WeHo.
Well, we like staying with Angela and
Yeah.
we know. All the things happen.
All the things.
We're calling it.
Whiskey. Barrel aged whiskey / moonshine.
Illegal moonshine.
Another story for another time, kids. The Adventures of the Gibsons in WeHo.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up because I need dinner and my diaper.
Okay. Your diaper changed?
I have to go. I have to go to the bathroom. All right, thank you guys for
What
being.
was this training on?
I have no idea. I hope you guys got something out of this.
Oh, the 3 tips. We did the 3 tips.
Oh, 3 tips for newbies.
Yeah.
All right, I hope you guys got something out of this. If you're watching the replay, let us know all the questions.
Yep. Oh,
Hey, April,
Kimberly.
-6.
wow. In Wisconsin, I had to clear my driveway with, and then she had to clear a driveway with a dustpan. That's level.
No. That's
See,
not cute.
I love that. People are just rocking it.
Just like, did you have a broom? I'm so confused. That's
No, just-
hilarious.
Anyway,
That's hilarious.
Kimberly got her first contract today. So
Yay, Kimberly! Where are you going? Where are you going, baby? I know, we miss you too, Andrew. You gotta plan a trip out there soon to see. This was inspired by Angela's apartment in WeHo. Erran and I stayed with her and we're like, why don't we have this in our life? It's unacceptable. And then we got it on Amazon. So thank you for the inspiration.
Absolutely.
I'm inside making a mandala rug. You guys are like really crafty and cool.
I know.
Jeez. I mean, what else are you gonna do when it's -6 out? Like,
well, we didn't do jack.
We found an awesome kettlebell gym that we were obsessed with, and so we would work out. I would work. Erran would like sit home and like, you know, and then come have lunch with me for like hours while I like did nothing.
I learned the guitar.
That's true.
I journaled. I started our blog.
You Spider Pug lifestyle.
I passed out flyers to get people healthy in Janesville, Wisconsin.
It's true. We did a lot there,
and I went to Hooters every Monday night and ate wings and drank beer with the guys at the gym.
I miss those folks.
I do too.
It was a good crew, man. All right, Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Nice.
We went there. Well, we stayed the night on our road trip from San Diego.
Not in Santa Fe, dear.
No?
No.
Where's the university at? That's where we were.
Albuquerque?
Oh, yeah, never mind. That's cool. There's like a lot of, who was just there that said that was it Marissa?
Yeah, I think
Marissa was just there.
Yeah.
And there's like cool hiking and stuff around. That's awesome. Congrats, girl.
I'm becoming obsessed with being eco-friendly and recycling now that I'm here.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
Like literally living on the West Coast, you know, there's so many, like you have compost and then you have recycle and then you have this and all the things. Like in Florida where we are right now, they don't even have recycling at our apartment. And I think that is
we
so
went downstairs
sick.
and asked them.
Yeah, I was like, this is unacceptable. Like they don't even offer it. They came and took it away. Like what is wrong with these people?
Well, they also don't recycle at the hospital, which was funny because we were talking about that today, and they said that they did a cost analysis or something, and it would cost more to start than it would to actually, I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, being on the West Coast,
but
man,
be
all about
what
that
you
eco
wish
life.
for, because I've also worked at some facilities where they're like, you see these wrappers? Like,
Hey, Susie.
Peel it all, and then this is recycled, but this goes in paper, and this goes in box number 3, and this goes in box number 4, and I
They
was
get
just
so
like,
extra, man. It's like so confusing.
Like,
and I never know where to put anything, so
No.
I just started like, if nobody's looking, I'll just like put it random places.
well, I'll try to
'Cause I get
recycle, and then
nervous.
she started going through the recycling, like, who put this here? Who put this here? And I was like, oh my God. It's like literally, I was more scared of the recycling during that contract than I was like
Wait,
the
where was
cases.
that? In Stanford?
I'm trying to think.
Bellingham?
It was somewhere in Washington.
Okay. We'll leave it alone.
Mhm.
I thought you were gonna say yeah. I was like, no. All right.
No, y'all didn't care.
Yeah, I know. So I was like, they don't really care that much. All right. We're gonna go. Good night.
This was fun.
We'll see you guys next week. And
You want to say goodbye?
say goodbye to baby.
Bye, Mama.
That's Miss Beanie LaRue, our number one fan, our number one gal pal,
Yep.
our mascot.
All right, guys.
All right.
This is
Good
before
night.
Kim says something that.
I really have to go to the bathroom
Oh, new comment.
and have
Whoa.
my dinner.
They don't even use plastic bags to go. Oh, don't even get us started on our first.
I know.
Yep.
I'm telling you, man.
Yep.
Okay, really quick story, and then we'll end it. The first time we moved to California, and again, coming from Florida, like, they don't even recycle here.
Well, okay.
Okay, they do some places. At our apartment complex, they don't recycle.
Publix just gives you bags. With Publix, we're shopping at the pleasure. It's the best
Plastic
grocery store
bags.
on the planet.
And they just give you bags, and they bag it, all the things. So we go to California, and it's our first time grocery shopping, and the lady's just, like, putting stuff back in our cart, and Erran and I are like, what the heck is happening?
No, she actually asked,
All right.
what do you want me to do with all these groceries? Do you want me to just put them back in your cart? And I was like, no, just put them in those bags. And she was just like, which ones? You have to pay for them. And, like, we went literally 15 minutes round and round because we did not understand that I had to pay for the paper bags. Like,
Yeah, it was, and we had to bag them ourselves. Like, it was a whole
she
debacle.
was so mad at us, and then whatever. Anyways,
Anyways,
that was our first.
we ended up buying our own bags because we're so eco-friendly now. All right, bye, guys. Thank you for being here.
We're
See you
always
guys
here.
later.
Ask away.
I always will be.
I thought you were hitting in, so I was trying to get it in quick.